role of public and private sector institutions in Sri Lanka is extremely important in achieving the goal of building a developed Sri Lanka. The Local Loans and Development Fund, which has been operating for more than a century, can be considered as an institution that plays a unique role in this endeavor. Local government bodies such as Pradeshi Sabhas, urban councils and municipal councils are the direct beneficiaries of the Local Loans and Development Fund. The long-term vision of the Local Loans and Development Fund is to be the main institution for providing financial facilities for the infrastructure development activities implemented by local government institutions. The mission of this fund is to contribute to the social and economic development of the country by providing long-term financial facilities for the provision of basic infrastructure in local government areas. Accordingly, the main role of this fund is the provision of financial facilities at concessional interest rates for the development of areas coming under the jurisdiction of local government institutions. Ordinance number 6 of 1930, number 25 of 1931, number 43 of 1938, number 21 of 1942, number 29 of 1949, and the Law Number 9 of 1974 clearly defines the function of the Local Loans and Development Fund, and Act Number 24 of 1993 defines the target market of this fund. The Local Loans and Development Fund is governed by a Board of Commissioners. This board consists of 14 members appointed by the Minister in charge of the subject. Accordingly, it is chaired by Secretary of the Ministry in charge of the subject. The board consists of a Treasury representative appointed by the Minister of Finance, 9 provincial civil service officers nominated by the governors of each province, and 3 expert members nominated by the Minister in charge of the subject. Local Loans and Development Fund consists of the Director and 2 Deputy Directors. The 2 Deputy Directors are performing their duties under the 2 areas, namely Finance and Administration and Operations. Also, good coordination has been built throughout the island by deploying district coordinating officers to cover all the districts of the island. The uniqueness of this institution is the provision of necessary funds for the development of infrastructure for public utility services and implementing income-generating projects in the local authority areas under a concessional loan system. In granting loans, special consideration is given to capital investment projects. That is, if a local government body applies for a loan for a project that can generate income, it gets special priority. Although it was supported by public finances from the beginning, after 2011, the fund transforming to a self-generating revolving fund without any cost to the National Treasury could be considered as a significant achievement. As mentioned earlier, any local authority can apply for loans from the Local Loans and Development Fund for new revenue-generating projects centered on their jurisdictions. Innovative renewable energy products, tourism-based income-generating initiatives, income-generating infrastructure development projects, small-scale industry-based income-generating projects, and new agricultural projects, as well as freshwater and marine fisheries-related projects, are clearly identified as areas for which loans could be granted. Accordingly, there is a possibility of obtaining loans for any feasible activity within the scope of local government. The Local Loans and Development Fund has paid special attention to renewable energy production projects. The fund could provide credit facilities for areas such as biogas energy projects, waste energy projects, and community solar energy programs. Also taking into consideration the future needs, the development of necessary infrastructure for the use of electric vehicles can also be introduced as a creative energy project that could generate income for the local government. The provision of consulting services regarding energy services is also a speciality of the Local Loans and Development Fund. Tourism is one of the leading sectors that can earn foreign exchange for the country. The fact that Sri Lanka has a leading position among the world's tourist destinations is a great boost for achieving the economic development of the country through tourism. Accordingly, there is a wide space opened up for the creation of local areas with modern technological facilities for the convenience of the tourists. The Local Loans and Development Fund is now ready to provide the financial support to local authorities for projects such as ecotourism development, cultural heritage conservation, recreational tourism programs, culinary arts and cultural programs, and community-based tourism projects. As soon as the role of local government is mentioned, what comes to minds of the people are physical infrastructure development projects such as roads, weekly markets, canal dams and parking lots, etc. But the speciality of the Local Loans and Development Fund is the provision of loans for the income-generating projects in the field of infrastructure development. Under this, the local authorities could generate revenue through the construction of the convention centers and exhibition halls, stadiums, public parks, technology parks and innovation centers, industrial parks, and construction of special economic zones, as well as the development of public transport infrastructure. The Local Loans and Development Fund is also ready to lend a helping hand to promote entrepreneurship and create job opportunities at the local level to utilize the skills and resources available in their respective local authority areas. Accordingly, it is very important to provide credit facilities for projects such as small-scale industry-based projects, food centers and farmers' markets, craft centers, technology and innovation projects, sustainable production and recycling initiatives. Thinking beyond traditional agriculture, the Local Loans and Development Fund is ready to support agricultural innovation in areas governed by local authorities. Under this program, many activities such as agritourism and farm accommodation, farmers' markets and food festivals, organic farming and provision of storage facilities will be considered for funding. Freshwater and marine fisheries in this country can also be introduced as means for generating income for a local government. The Local Loans and Development Fund is ready to help with new projects such as aquaculture development, fish processing and value-added products, fishing vessels, fish markets and seafood exports. The fact that the annual interest rate charged for the loans provided by the fund is much lower than the loan interest in the market is an incentive for a local government to obtain a loan. The loan repayment period is determined based on the feasibility of the project. The basic requirements to get a loan from the fund are the absence of non-performing loans, acceptable financial reports, and audit reports for the last 3 years, being an income-generating project that could contribute to the welfare of the people and the active involvement in the local authority. The loan application process consists of 3 steps. The local authority should first discuss its project proposal with the district coordinating officer of the Local Loans and Development Fund. The fund then assesses the commercial feasibility. The application should be submitted to the fund through the local government commissioner along with the project report, cost estimates and the council resolution. After receiving the application along with the necessary documents, the fund will carry out an evaluations and processing. Then, if the application is approved, the Local Loans and Development Fund will inform the relevant local authority through a formal letter and a phone call. After the feasibility study and the approval, the fund will provide a maximum loan amount of 80% of the project cost. The assistance of trained officers to identify business opportunities related to the projects and providing consulting services to prepare business plans will be an encouragement and guidance for the proper investment of the loan money. By providing advice on easy loan payment methods as well as concessional interest rates and grace periods for repayment, the Local Loans and Development Fund is performing a very important mission for the development of the country. Further information of this fund could be obtained from the website www.lldf.gov.lk or by contacting the district coordinating officers whose telephone numbers are listed here. The Local Loans and Development Fund is making an immense contribution to the national development by building a close relationship with the municipal councils, urban councils and other Pradeshi Sabhas throughout in Sri Lanka, and by cooperating and giving their active contributions to the local development plans to raise the standards of living of the people and build up the economy of the country. Local Loans and Development Fund is contributing to the achievement of the sustainable development goals by providing the necessary motivation and guidance to every local authority to stand up on its own without relying on government funds.